and went, hang on a minute, he's doing something a little bit better than me, copied him and then threw further. So perhaps it'd be nice to think of those guys learning off each other when they're down there, not just off YouTube.
Yeah, and again, that's what comes from, you know, you can be firing as much as you like in training and running against your teammates, but competitive environments, it just brings out different feelings, doesn't it? And the improvement, hopefully, that they're fighting against each other. As we're seeing the scrolling start list here, that's the first couple of pages of the women's 10,000 metres. It'll continue. There's still another page to come yet because we have 25 listed in this. Now, this race is also, as part of the World Athletics Continental Tour Gold and part of the FBK Games, this, of course, is also the Ethiopian World Championship Trials event as well. The men's trials event took place last night, won by Solomon Barega in this very same stadium. And we'll scroll through and bring you as much coverage as we can. We're going to keep covering the field as well throughout the course of this. With 25 athletes, there's going to be two different pacing groups here as well. One at the front, which is going to be paced at 29.50, and also a World Championship qualification group to be paced at 31.20. The World Champ qualifier is 31.25. As we see Almaz Ayana, the former world record holder, at this, which was broken on this very track at this very meeting exactly a year ago today by Sifan Hassan, who held the record for 2 days before it was beaten by Letesenbet Giday, who's also in this field. One from the outside there. Eilish McColgan's been in brilliant form on the road. Can she translate that onto the track as we see her first track appearance since the Brussels Diamond League meeting at the back end of last year? Took part in the Tokyo Olympic final. Over 10K, finished 10th. Sorry, 9th. The pace is going to be... there's Yehola as well. We keep coming with the stars here. All of these athletes are a race within a race for quite a few of them, but Yehola is the world record holder on the road, still to be ratified, their 10K performance in Castellón. Kip Karui right on the outside, Caroline Chepkoech Kip Karui. Who now competes for Kazakhstan. There's Giday, still just 24 years age, World Championship silver medalist on the track over 10,000 metres, Olympic bronze medalist in Tokyo, behind Sifan Hassan, who's not quite ready to be in action. Would have been a star attraction at this meeting again, but not quite able in terms of their training and fitness to be prepared for this one.
The women's 10,000 metres with NN.
Gebra Salama of Ethiopia on the right of the shot there, the World Under-20 bronze medalist. We've also got Margaret Chilimo Kip Kemboy, world silver medalist over 5,000 metres. She's in the second group on the outside with hip number 21. So we're standing by the women's 10,000 metres at the FBK Games in Hengelo, incorporating the Ethiopian World Championship trial. Top three from an Ethiopian point of view will qualify for Eugene, Oregon. And what's going to be interesting here, Hannah, is how the Ethiopians race this, because we see them chasing times quite often, but this is a first three past the post kind of race, and the early stages around the outside would tell us that maybe they're going to run this more championship style.
Well, it is interesting. You know, most of the big hitters have got that qualifying mark. They don't need to show off and do that. And when you think about the conditions you might meet at a championships, you'd expect it to be a little bit more tactical. But I don't know, there's always a temptation just to put on a show and run as hard as you can, but you don't want to be the athlete that leads that. But you've got to say, Giday should be able to run away from the rest of this field, but at the moment, yeah, you're right, Chris, they're just happy to have a championship race. And Eilish McColgan of Scotland, she's here to get a good time. She's run fantastically on the roads, and I'm sure she'd love to convert that sort of time to a track personal best.
Yeah, we were discussing again before we came on air, if it did sort of separate into two races here, if it did go into the 29.5 race and the 31.20 race, where she would be. There we go, they're on the billboards and they're delivering for the sold-out crowd in Hengelo as we pick up the women's 10,000 metres again here.
I think what we're missing off the front of this shot is, there she is, Scotland's Eilish McColgan. We've seen her do this in so many road races this season, and I bet she thought, when she woke up this morning, when she put herself in this race, oh, well, I'll have some company. It's the Ethiopian World Championship Trials. This is my chance. But Eilish McColgan, in true Eilish McColgan style, has struck out on the front of this race. And she is running metronomic 71-second laps on her own. 2:59 first K, 5:58 through 2K. 8:57 through 3K, and she is on British record pace out there on her own. And these athletes behind, they're racing for the honour of representing their country, for representing Ethiopia at the World Championships in Eugene. And they've left Eilish out there all on her own. She trains on her own. She's very used to pushing herself. But still, you would not have expected Eilish to just have some wave lights for company.
Yeah, the wave light technology in use on the inside, as we say, running at two different pacing speeds, one for that World Championship qualifying time, for some of those way further back. So we wondered whether McColgan would be the one who would go with a faster pace, or whether the Ethiopian athletes, as part of their World Championship trial, would run it as a championship, which they are doing. But instead of Eilish having to decide whether to go with others, it's others deciding whether to go with her. And as you say, the British record, which stands at 30.01.09, which has been held for 20 years by Paula Radcliffe, which is also the European record. She'll have that in her mind, won't she? She's very ambitious, Eilish.
She is, but we had that graphic, I think, 300 metres ago. A heartbreak, like 6K to go. You're like, oh, that's so far to be out there on your own. But like I say, Eilish does train on her own. And wouldn't it be great if she could start trying to catch some of these athletes? But this is really peculiar. I would not have thought we would have had this race. But I think we would have had, especially some of the athletes in there that aren't Ethiopian. We've got Merif Bata in there. Why is she not trying to run a little bit faster? Giday's just content to sit at the back of this whole pack. We were told by the meet organisers it was very much first three past the post in this.
Yep.
So perhaps that just really dictating the rest of that field behind.
Well, last night, Barega, Worku and Aragawi claimed the 3 places in the men's team. Yomif Kajelcha was squeezed out of the Ethiopian World Championship team in the men's race held on this track last night. It was actually hard even to see. So this is the chasing pack at the moment, headed by Stella Chisang of Uganda, Tihai Gemechu of Ethiopia, Kip Kirui of Kazakhstan, who's been competing for them since the end of January, currently in around about 4th position. Yehulor in 5th, the world record holder on the road. Also right to the fore, Gebre Salama and Chirono of Kenya, Neom Zakunzi of Burundi, Gebre of Ethiopia, Merif Bata of Sweden is in about 11th position, and Giday, as you say, is currently in 20th position, right at the back of that massive strung out group. But this is your leader, Eilish McColgan of Great Britain, who's been continuing that consistent pace. She went through, in fact, slightly quicker through 4,000 metres, 11.57, so that was, slightly slower.
But back to Eilish McColgan. She leads the way, as you said, Chris. She did slow ever so slightly to 3 minutes on that 4 kilometres. So we have got an eye on the split. She did a whole load of 71s, and then she's just slowed to 72. But we're talking infinitesimal slow. She's slowing by a quarter of a second a lap, which does add up over 25 laps. But Eilish McColgan at the moment, very much on for a huge personal best. And could we get overexcited and think that she might be on for a British and European record here on the track?
Infinitesimal, what a word you've just pulled out there, by the way. Sensational. Hannah England, ladies and gentlemen, world silver medalist of 1,500 metres and lexicographer as well. Sensational word usage. As McColgan at the moment, with nobody else in sight, there are the rest. It's just starting to wind up a little bit in that chasing group now, isn't it? Just ever so slightly stringing out a little bit as we look to the front of that leading group. And now Gebre of Ethiopia has come to the front of that. And still Giday not in the shot. Keep your eye out. She's right there. She is right at the back on the inside. Maybe 2 from the back of that massive group.
What is Giday playing at? Well, here we go. Was that a moving wide? Don't get me wrong. I think when you're only trying to come in the top 3, that's an utterly different way to run. But the calibre and the personal best that she's got, go on, get on up there. But she is only halfway through the race. You can see Eilish taking that halfway split there in what is an absolutely phenomenal 5K split for anybody. She's gone through 5K just outside 15 minutes, but unfortunately with it being just outside 15 minutes, she's just slipping off that elusive 30 minutes and 1 second that we'd love her to push on towards.
Just she was coming around that bend. I don't know if there was a bit of a breeze there, but she just looked a little bit sort of unsteady, or maybe there's a bit of wind on that back straight there as she came round into the home straight for this next time. But you can see she's pretty much 200 metres ahead of the chasing group. Remember, that's the Ethiopian World Championship trial for a number of the athletes in that group. First 3 home, regardless of the time. They've all got all the leading protagonists anyway have easily got the qualifier for the World Championships, which, as we said earlier on, for the women's 10,000 metres is set at 31.25. Just looking for the wave lights on the inside there as well, Hannah. They're pretty hard to see, aren't they, in the daylight? They're just at the back of that group, aren't they? In fact, there they are, halfway down the group. Here's Eilish McColgan then. Now, she was 200 metres clear. Last time we got a shot of the wider field, and just looking down the home straight, or down the back straight rather, for the... She's on the back straight, isn't she? And everybody else is on the home straight on the far side. It's don't know, that gap doesn't seem to be getting any shorter, but this is the race within a race for the Ethiopian World Championship positions. And Giday still very happy. She's still one from the back of that massive pack.
And they're running almost exactly on those white lights. And you look back across the track, Eilish McColgan is almost within 150 metres of catching this group. And that could really make the difference. Through 7 kilometres in 21:11. So we were looking for as close to 21 minutes as you could if she was going to attack Paula Radcliffe's British and European record. So she's 11 seconds off that at the moment. Everyone that's run 5Ks and 10Ks knows you can go through bad patches. But Eilish McColgan inching back towards those 73s.
So Yeholor at the front now of that leading group. Kip Kemboy, Gebrizer as well, right at the front with Gemetchu, Gebra Salama. Faisa Tay is there as well, the World Indoor bronze medalist over 3,000 metres. Also around the outside, Mulate, another of the Ethiopian competitors. Hawi Faisa of Ethiopia is also still in there. Again, apologies if we omit one or two others who aren't in the Ethiopian World Championship race. It's sometimes hard to keep an eye on who's in which race. Also, Margaret Kip Kemboy is in that group as well. They've just going through 7.5 kilometres around about now. Here's Eilish McColgan out front, as you can see at the bottom there. That's a very helpful caption. Just over 2 kilometres to go.
And now if Eilish starts catching people, that's what could really help Eilish out here. Eilish McColgan's been on her own for over 7 kilometres. Well, that's not true. She had a pacemaker for a little bit, but all of the splits show her as the leader. So whether she went ahead of the pacemaker, and she's just had to let those green lights drift away. They were set at British and European record pace. But this, for me, this is really reminiscent of Eilish in Berlin in 2018. That's when she got her first senior medal. She just went out there in the 5K. She went out and went, I know I can run. It's probably around about this pace. I know I can run this pace on my own. I'm not going to mess around with the group. I'm just going to go and do that. And here she is in a world-class field, just doing exactly the same. 3:05K there for Eilish. So that's 8K in 24:16. So that'll be a monumental effort if she could get that back down towards the 30 minutes. But if anyone's watching this at home, 30 minutes for 10K, there's not many men in the world that can do that. And Eilish McColgan is not a million miles off it right now.
I can barely drive 10K at 30 minutes, to be honest with you. 30:58 is her personal best, don't forget. So that is looking big for revision as well, as we start to see this group now chasing on and things just starting to move. And you can see, just before it changed there to the gap, there was an interesting graphic in terms of the speed of the athletes compared to Eilish McColgan there, who was going at 19 kilometres an hour. The athletes behind were going at 21 and a bit.
Well, as they should be, they're operating well underneath their personal best. We would expect a real burn up from the rest of the women there, whereas Eilish, we'd hope she can maintain this speed. Like we said, she's done well to get herself back down to 73. She's just done a 75, so that's a tiny bit slower, but let's hope if she can keep her head up, keep driving on, she can catch a few of these athletes that have fallen off the back of the chase group, if you like. Not that they're doing much chasing, but what a brave effort from Great Britain's Eilish McColgan. She's really stuck to her task in slightly less than ideal conditions here, and I'm sure she would have hoped that some of these kind of decorated women behind her would have given her a hand today.
Giday just starting to loom a bit closer. She's in the 6th position in that group now, which is headed by Eljahu Tay at the front. Ayana, the former world record holder, former world champion twice. And here's Eilish McColgan, though, now, who is striding round the home turn, or down the back straight, I should say, with gritted teeth now. The Scot, who's been out in front for the whole time pretty much since the pacemakers went away, with the Ethiopian World Championship trial going on way behind her, almost in a different parish. Eilish McColgan has gone past athletes. Her personal best is 30:58. That British and European record held by Paula Radcliffe was at 30:01, so she's going to be, unfortunately for her, outside that. But it's still, as you can see, McColgan's personal standards, the form she's been showing on the roads, translating to the track here. Pretty much a solo run. She's going to set a massive personal best here to put herself in great shape for a huge summer of championships on the track. Eilish McColgan has done all the hard work out on her own here. It's going to be a massive lifetime best for the Scottish athlete. A cursory look over your shoulder. You're on your own, Eilish. Huge personal best, 30:19. What a performance. Half a minute off her lifetime best.
Eilish has been basing it.
Well, here comes the charge towards the line, and Giday has timed it perfectly as well here to come through for the Ethiopian trial ahead of Tay. Ayana was right to the fore, but she's faded back in the end. And Giday will take the first of those places in the Ethiopian World Championship team. We didn't get very many looks, unfortunately, at the athletes coming in behind. Giday was certainly in the shake-up coming down the home straight. We'll confirm that. 30.44 confirmed for Giday in second place overall, but the first of the Ethiopians across the line. Tay indeed did take third place in 30.44, just behind Giday for the second of that automatic spot. Margaret Kipkemboi, a lifetime best of 30.45 for Kenya, finished in fourth place overall. And just waiting, the hardest race she's ever done in her life. That's the official word from Eilish McColgan. An impromptu flash interview there.
You think it should be pushing herself incredibly hard. That was a great sprint finish going on behind for those automatic spots for the Ethiopian team at the World Championships. But if you fast forward to Eugene, Eilish does something like, they're not going to let her do this. They will not let her do this in the championship race. You almost kind of go, oh, I wish this had been Eugene. Eilish had just gone off and started running 3-minute kilometres and no one had thought she could maintain it. Great to see that joy there. Yes, she's a shade outside that record, but fantastic time nonetheless. Giday almost looks like she's just doing enough to get that automatic win there. Taye coming through for second, and then Kipkemboi of Kenya was next across the line. It was Malate of Ethiopia.
And 30.19 for Eilish McColgan, comes in at number 5 on that list. So we see confirmation there. Big PB for Eilish McColgan. Giday, Tay and Malati taking the Ethiopian top 3.